Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Quiet Money Podcast. I'm your host, Dax. Happy to have you here with us. As always, I got my beautiful co-host.
Hi, y'all. It's Randy.
What's up, babe? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was doing great, you know what I'm saying? But I'm doing good right now. It's been a little up and down last 24 hours or so, you know?
Yeah. It has been.
Anyway, for anybody that's new to our show, like we pretty much just go through our whole journey of success, but all of the ups and downs that come with it. And we just really keep it real about that. And lately, I want everybody to think that we're always taking vacations, because that's not the case. But lately, we've been fortunate to take a few vacations. You know what I mean? And vacations are important. We talked about that on our other episodes. But this last vacation was...
Oh, yeah. It was nice.
This last vacation was... It was. But you know what? For me, and I'm going to jump right into it, right? For me, this last vacation was a good reminder for me, like how much I can control and what I don't control. You know what I mean? Like when we go through and we talk about success and the things that we're doing in business or family relationship, whatever it is, like a lot of that and the way that we want to live, a lot of people live this way. It's like we think we have control of things. But this vacation from the beginning showed us, it reminded us that we don't have control of things. Now, I'm going to jump into it. A lot of people, and I don't disagree with this, but a lot of people would say, you know, as you're going forward, the life that you want, you could get it, visualize it, or what happened, this, and that. I don't disagree with that. I actually agree with that. But there's some things on that journey, being real about it, you don't control at all. One of them might be like health, right? Ain't no visualization gonna guarantee health, and that's something you need to do anything you're trying to do. With us, not gonna talk about health too much, but with us, with the vacation, we're going to Portugal, right? We're excited about that. We're planned in advance, the right way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I want you to talk about the planning that we did for it, and then we're gonna jump into like what happened after that. You know what I'm saying? And I want everybody, I'm going to relate this to something, but like, we're going to Portugal. We're taking the whole family with us. We've never been there before.
Party of 6.
Exactly. Right. Talk about how we planned for that trip and how you felt like on our way getting to the airport based on all the planning you did and how everybody was feeling.
Okay. So when did we find out about it? In April? I think we found out about it in April. So Dexter's uncle was getting married, and we were thinking, well, first of all, when we saw Portugal, we're like, wow, I'm automatically assuming that you have a year to plan for a destination wedding, right? Because that's usually common courtesy. But I'm like, hold on, this is 2023, August 2023. Oh my goodness. So immediately, like the first thing I normally do is go look up and see how much the flight costs. So I look up the flight cost. I'm like, wow, it's pretty expensive to get there. So I kind of like think in tiers. Okay, this is his uncle getting married. The most important thing is for him to be able to get there.
Of course.
Okay. And then I say, well, you know, me and him can use vacation. We haven't been anywhere in a while. So I guess most importantly, if I can go, then I'll go. But we have a childcare situation because we have children and Portugal is far away. It's a long flight. So then I'm thinking, you know what? What if we could take the whole family to Portugal and really make a memory? Because the last time we went international, I mean, we go to Bermuda. Well, before COVID, we used to go every year. But we haven't been since 2019. But this is a little bit different because Bermuda, we have like it's our family, you know, so it's a vacation, but it's like going home. Okay. So anyway, we're like, okay, well, now granted, as you know, from this podcast, it's been a very busy season for us. So even though, I started to plan what it would look like, I I didn't plan. But when I got the tickets, we were departing from one airport and returning to another airport because I'm looking at costs and I'm like, okay, we're going to have to move this way. We're going to travel on this date because when you're talking about buying 6 tickets, well, actually 5 and an infant, which is a lap ticket. But anyway,
right.
There's a lot of costs associated to it. So I said, okay, if I could just get the tickets and get there, that's the start. Boom, got the tickets. Then we have to figure out
and we looked at that too.
Yeah,
we looked at the tickets together and what made sense and
yeah. We did do that. And then travel arrangements because, well, we're a family of 6 and we're doing, which means we have a lot of luggage.
Right.
So we're leaving from one airport and returning to another. So then I had to look at accommodations for traveling. So I ordered a shuttle. Which I actually liked. It was a
real nice shuttle.
It was a real nice shuttle. If you got
a big family, like just let it go. Like get you something real comfortable. This shuttle was nice.
Yeah.
It made everything easy.
Just allocate some funds towards getting a shuttle.
It weren't cheap though.
No.
It weren't cheap at all. But it was definitely
it was worth it because we had help with the bags. They just came and it was nice. It was nice.
It was.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about because usually when we go on vacation, we park the car, and if it's in long-term parking, we got to carry all the luggage and get it on the bus and take it off and check in.
But that's always. But see, we always fly a lot closer to where we live at. But this time we was a lot further away.
We were a lot further. That's why
trying to have the car wasn't even a benefit as it was before.
Yeah,
I think it was right to just prioritize the comfort and how far we had to go and all the bags because we were there for so long.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
I don't know. We took like 5 suitcases, I think.
5 large suitcases.
And then a whole bunch of like other
little bags, carry-ons.
For sure.
But and then the Airbnb. So the first,
Airbnb was nice.
The Airbnb was nice. But so when it comes to planning, I was trying to do the cheaper route with the Airbnb.
Right. Did we end up doing the cheaper route there?
We didn't. No. We didn't because Dexter came along. Well, actually, I think my niece said something about going to Portugal is probably once in a lifetime thing, and you might want to splurge on where you stay at. And I thought about it. I was like, because on one hand, I know that we don't need a lot, and I know the kids don't need a lot. But then I started thinking about what she said, and I'm like, well, maybe we should splurge a little bit. This is all me coming up with the budget.
Right.
And then I ran it by you and you was like, yeah, just go for it. So we ended up getting
it was more than what you was thinking at first, but I think it was a good medium to come to. What do you think? No?
I think it worked out well.
All right.
Because if I'm a splurge, I'm gonna make sure it has a pool, which it did have because that keeps the kids busy. So one tip that I'll share is if you can get an accommodation with the pool, whether it be an Airbnb in a hotel, use that because that's free entertainment.
And it's easy.
Or included entertainment.
It was easy.
Yeah, it's easy. We're going to have a pool day.
At least one pool day because you ain't really spending money that day, but it's still straight.
Yeah. So that was the plan, and the tickets, the travel, and then the Airbnb. And just making sure we didn't miss any of the wedding events because they had the cocktail hour the night before and then the wedding. Dexter was the best man. So just making sure that y'all had everything. And the kids were page boys. So making sure they had their suits and all that stuff. That was like the extent of my planning.
The suits were nice and everything was perfect with that.
In my mind, I thought I was going to learn some Portuguese before we went, but didn't learn a thing. I picked up on a few things though.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty much at the grocery store, I think we learned.
At the grocery store, that Google Translate, woo!
So we did all this planning, and we're talking about like things we can control and things we can't. So everything you just talked about, we had in our control. We're on our way to the airport. Everybody's excited, and we get to the airport, and we go through security and everything. Now
we're ready.
We're ready. We're ready, right? But here's the one little part, and then we're going to say the details for later. The one little part is that there was one thing we knew that maybe we weren't 100% ready, which was my paperwork, green card stuff. Because, right, the short and sweet is I got a green card that hasn't arrived in the mail. Right?
Right.
All right. So, cool. But I'm had one for 20 years. But the updated one ain't come in the mail before I left.
Right,
no problem.
Right.
All right. But we get to the airport, go through security, everything's good, everybody's happy, right? We're in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Our flight is supposed to take us to Philly so that we could transfer
and go to Portugal.
And go to Lisbon, right?
Yep.
Nah, I don't remember the exact time the flight to Philly was supposed to leave at first. I want to say like 4 something.
It was like 4:35 or something like that. Yeah.
All right. Again, it's not just me and you traveling. We got the kids with us and all the excitement, hopes, and dreams of the trip. And something is going on with the weather, right? The weather, all of a sudden, we're looking outside the windows.
Tornado watches.
Hey, it's dark on one side. We're like
right on the other.
Looking on the other side, it's looking. Now we learned the flights are grounded.
Yeah, you can look at the screen and see the flights delayed.
Yeah,
delayed. Oh,
so people's been through this experience before. You know, I ain't never been through it the way that we went through it this time, but here we are. We're ready, but we're not ready for that. Ain't nothing we could do to prepare for that, right? It happens, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. The kids are starting to break down slowly, emotionally. You know what I mean? And there's nothing you could really do about that. Because you know what that's doing to them. And it's nothing that you could have did to really prepare for that. So now you just go into the mood of navigating them through tough situations. That's what parents do. So we see it be delayed. 4:30 becomes 5, 6, 7. Everybody else's flights are being canceled, but ours ain't being canceled though. Just delayed. So at some point, I want people to really feel this, right? When something's going wrong, but it hasn't gotten to that point where it's just done, eventually you start thinking, all right, it's about to turn around. Because
and also I saw like 1 or 2 flights depart
that later on.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Right. But we ain't got the confirmation like, yo, it's gonna be here, everything's good. We're just seeing it delayed, but it's not canceled.
Right.
All right. Now, fast forward, the flight comes in to get us. How many people out there would have felt like, all right, you've been through the tough time now. You've been through the tough time. Right? Because the flight turn now is not canceled. It's right on the tarmac. And on top of that,
we boarding.
People are boarding.
We boarding.
People are boarding the flight. No problem. In the last group. It shouldn't have happened like that because we got the baby. I got that wrong. But
also, we have to let them know we did miss the flight to Portugal. Because that would have been our connecting.
Right.
Because it got so late that we would have missed our connecting.
We would have missed our connecting, right, for sure. And so we're looking to get on the flight to Philly. We're in the last group.
What time was it? Like 10:30 p.m., 11, something like that. It was late.
After all the groups had gotten on the flight in front of us,
it was our
last
time.
One, they canceled it.
Yep.
They canceled it.
I'm kind of mad you're making me relive
this.
this.
Serious. I want everybody like, you got control, but you ain't got control of things. You know what I'm saying? And they canceled it. So now here we are realizing not only is it canceled, it's 11 o'clock. We're not made up connection to Portugal, but now we're about to spend the night in the airport and not get no accommodation because they don't do anything.
Well, we didn't know that yet, though.
We didn't know that.
We didn't know it yet.
We didn't know that yet.
And keep in mind, we have a 21-month-old, a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 18-year-old.
Exactly. And all the different feelings from all of them that's looking forward to an experience that don't involve this. You know what I mean? So we find out customer service. Of course, you think the line is super long, hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So, and then you find out they're not going to do anything for you because it's weather related.
Right. And even if they could, they couldn't, because the flight they put us on left at 6:15 in the morning. So we would have had to get our luggage, go to a hotel, and at that point it's pointless. So
exactly.
We spent the night in the airport to try to catch this 6:15 flight. And
we went through that.
Then that flight was canceled.
Then they sent us all the way to Indiana. All right.
Indianapolis.
Where we spent the day in the airport. Fast forward.
The flight that was supposed to come get us from Indianapolis was coming from Philly to take us to Philly.
Exactly.
Delayed. Weather is clear. Okay, weather's clear, and we like, oh,
this Lord. Is the next day.
It's the next day because we've already missed our flight to Portugal from the day before. So we got to get to Philadelphia by 9:30 to get on this flight to Portugal. So anyway, delayed. What time did we end up getting on that flight?
About 4 something or 5. I think it was later. 5.
I think it was like 6 late. Because
it was like 5 or 6.
We made it to Philadelphia. And when I tell you, have you ever seen Home Alone? When they are running through the airport trying to catch the flight.
Exactly.
Dexter and Christian, the 10-year-old, went in front of us. Because I had to wait. Remember, I had the baby, so I had checked the stroller at the gate. So we had to wait for that. Me, Mariah, Kobe.
I think it was about a good 10 to 15 minutes. The other side, it was like the other side.
It was the other side of the airport,
like super long. And me and Christian's like running. When we got there, people was boarding the plane. Yeah. I basically told them they was coming.
Yeah. So we got that stroller and we ran, man.
And we made
it. They were boarding the plane.
Nah. We ain't even got to Portugal yet. But the thing is, as you're going forward through things, even if it's something like a vacation or something like that, or something else, you could plan for it. You can do everything that's in your control. Be really excited to do it. Know that you got everything covered. Even get through some of the things that you're worried about that ain't 100%, like my green card. And we'll talk about that. But here you are. You think, here I am. This is about to happen for me, and it don't happen. But then we actually go through a whole missed day and have to run to catch the flight. But here it is. We made it. A day later, we made it.
Hallelujah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we get to Portugal. And just like what happens in a lot of people's lives, and as you go through tough times or whatever, you don't forget what you've been through, because we talked about it the whole trip, about how terrible the airport experience was. But here comes the good times. Here comes the ups, right? That's real, ups and downs.
Yeah.
Here comes the ups. Here comes all of the memories of this beautiful place that we was in for like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something that we want to do again. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So we get to Portugal. You know what I mean? We got a ride to the Airbnb. The Airbnb is dope. Beautiful.
Yeah. I had set up another shuttle.
Yeah. Everything was comfortable. You know. Get to the Airbnb. We love that. It's secure, gate code. You got to get in. So that makes you feel good with kids. It's got the pool. It's got some soccer stuff there for Christian was loving that. And everybody was happy. First night. Simple stuff. Took them to the McDonald's. The best McDonald's you ever seen in your life. Like some 2-story building with like glass window. Like it was just very different. Nice. A big park outside, people's playing.
It's late at night
till like midnight.
Oh yeah, are we gonna talk about the culture shock?
Yeah, of course we're gonna talk about it. That was the first. I think that was the first time we really saw it.
Yeah,
was here it is about midnight at the McDonald's, and people's outside in the park playing football and like eating with
kids on the playground
and all different races and. Everybody was outside.
Everybody was outside.
That was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That ain't like that here. I ain't got my son outside or nobody outside that late at night.
Yeah.
Or, that was the first culture shock night. And then the next morning, me and you got into this daily routine that we didn't know that was coming by going to this little coffee spot. Right?
Well, I knew something was coming because I'm going to have coffee with you every morning.
For real.
But yeah, we found a coffee shop on the corner, like next to our building. Not in our building, but like on the corner down the street. And it was so nice. And it was so cheap.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, yeah.
We would have 2 cups of coffee and a pastry for like $3. €3.
And it's like the best coffee ever.
Best coffee ever. Talking about made fresh right in front of you.
No, with that, for a little bit, one of the biggest things that we noticed, and I want people to think about this in life, and hope, and maybe start to have more of an appreciation for this, because I know I'm starting to have it, just because I'm also getting older, but really because of this experience we just had in Portugal. When you're trying to do great things, you have to think about what you're putting inside of your body.
Yes.
Because your body is needed, your health is needed. It's not something you can guarantee, but you have to have energy, you have to have focus, your mind has to be clear. And it's very true, like it's not a lie that what you put in your body impacts your ability to do that. This place that we went to really showed me that over 10 days, 11 days that we was there. Going to the grocery store. Everything that we are used to look for, we can't find.
Can't find it. And I'm talking about, like for me, in the mornings, I'll make oatmeal. Packaged oatmeal. Just, add a little water, put it in the microwave, 90 seconds, done. I'm walking through the store like, I know they have some oatmeal around here. No, they have oats. Like, there's no packaged.
Nothing.
I'm like.
No prepackaged
No
food,
prepackaged anything. I'm looking for the juice.
No fruit. Nothing that had like corn syrup
nothing.
Or any of this, like things like they didn't have any of that. You couldn't find it.
So so even looking for the juice, we're like, well, where's the, the containers? Like, where's the juice? They're like the freshly squeezed juices over there.
Yeah. The eggs had feathers on them.
Yes, and the eggs were also kept out. They weren't refrigerated.
Milk wasn't refrigerated.
Milk was not refrigerated. Like, you just could not.
And I didn't even know what to do with it when I came home. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this milk?
Yeah. Yeah. It was an experience, but there was nothing that was packaged. Not really. We did get a pizza.
Not really. Even the shopping cart that they primarily have you using is like 40% the size of what you're going to use out here.
And I think one of the things that shocked me was like the size of the chicken.
I'm telling you, if you ever got served them chicken wings out here, it would be a real bad problem. They were so small, but it made you think.
Small and make you think like, what are they putting in the chicken in America?
Exactly.
Because you can hold like the chicken in the palm of your hand. Like, I just couldn't believe. I'm like, this is a flat. Like, this is
crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, that was and the seafood was fresh.
It was everything was fresh. Everything was fresh, and here it is. Here's the point. Like, we wasn't like super working out or anything like that, but when we was eating the food down there, it's a feeling that I noticed it, but I didn't notice just how much it was happening to me and how I was feeling every day in regards to just being out, energy in the sun, walking, like we're walking all over the place.
Walking all over.
You're satisfied, but you're never feeling like
I never felt
tired or like you want to take a nap or like
even after we ate, I never felt like
stuff. Nothing.
Never felt but I didn't even notice it till I came back.
Nothing like that. It was so distinct of a difference.
Yeah,
and just eating every day.
And mind you, we ate out every day.
Ate out every day, but it was just a difference to it. Other than that, not just eating, just the experiences of talking with different people.
We met some locals at the coffee shop.
We met locals that really pretty much every day telling us different places we could go. Reminded me a lot of Birmingham in the essence of like people just being cool and just talking about things. Like, it ain't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter who you are. Like, they're just like, where you want to look to go, bam, to get information. Like, so I really, really liked that. It was a real local feel. Everybody was, it was a little bit slower. People's not as much in a rush.
Yeah.
They eat later. They talk more. It's a lot of sitting out and just talking, and they like drinking and eating bread and all that.
They like their coffee.
And coffee.
Yeah.
But it's definitely I just saw a lot more connection.
Yes.
Amongst people there. So I was really thinking like, what am I really loving about this experience? And I'm like, I feel freer, where I was. Now, and this is nothing negative about where we currently are, because we make money here and we do well. And, it's a lot of benefits being in America. But I made a joke about it, but I really feel this way, that there was 3 S's that was removed from my life while I was in Portugal. 3 S's. The first one was sugar.
Yeah.
Soul.
Yep.
And stress.
Yeah.
That's what I had way less of when I was there. And I found myself thinking more about things. I got to get ready for the coaching season and everything. But I was really just focused. And I was definitely in the moment of like what was happening with my kids and how much they was loving it and the experiences that we was having, which we'll talk about more in a second. But I recognized like the food and what we was eating and what we was doing and like the people and everything was like kind of connecting into this, my environment really impacts how I am.
Absolutely.
Like it's not corny, it's not a lie. Like you might realize like, who you are, you might be disappointed in yourself where you are. Like just look at your environment.
Yeah.
Look at what you're eating. Like look at how you're treating yourself. Like look at the kind of people that you're around every day. It was really impactful that we were around these kind of people at coffee shops that want to talk to you and, you know what I'm saying, tell you places to go and take pictures with you and remember you and tell you come back in a year.
Yeah. We'll do that.
That's a different experience, right?
Right.
Living
Absolutely.
there than somewhere else where people's bumping you in line to be like, yo, hurry up.
Right.
It's not.
There was no rush.
There was none of that, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. But there's the kind of the things organically in your environment that create stress and anxiety and things, and you don't even realize it. So I really appreciated that part about the trip.
Yeah.
Now the main part, which we have to talk about, is my uncle got married.
Yes.
And as we went through the tough time with the travel and. Now we had all these great experiences with the food and the people and all of that stuff. We went to the zoo. That was crazy. That was, the kids loved that. Went to the zoo. Did a soccer stadium tour, the Benfica Stadium.
That was nice.
They loved that. That was really nice. You know what I mean? We did some other stuff too, but those are all of the experiences that we, decided to do, and we loved it there. But the big part was my uncle's wedding, right?
Yeah.
Nah, the first night, the night before when they had the, I guess the cocktail hour and all that experience right there, I don't talk too much about it, but that reminded me in an instance, this is what life's about. This is why I go through everything that I'm going through. Like this is like a moment that makes everything makes sense through the ups and downs. You see what I'm saying? I'm able to create and be a part of this moment. We plan for it. We've been through all this stuff, but that was what it was for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's exactly what it was for. Now, if you would have asked me that a couple days before when I was in the airport, that wasn't on my mind. You see what I'm saying? That wasn't on our mind anymore.
Nah, we were just trying to get there.
Just trying to get there. We were going through tough times. We were managing that environment with our kids and all of that. So I couldn't even really keep my eye focused on, I'm really going for this reason. Like that wasn't motivated. Like I was just done. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just made me think like, okay, but this is what it's for. This is what it's worth for taking all these pictures. The view is crazy. The view is beautiful. The air breeze, everything's perfectly weather. You know what I mean?
It's like of the weather. It did not rain not one day.
Not one day. It was like perfect weather from morning to night. The same routine of a little bit cool, heats up, then it cools you down in the night with no rain. That was every day. Every day. Just like that. But in that moment before the wedding, it made me think like, all right, this is why we went through all these tough times. So the ups and downs of life and why we have our show. And we're just using vacation again as an example. And it's hard to do this, but as you're going through them down times, there is another side to the down, which is the up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can't get too discouraged through things, but it happens. But I'm glad that I was able to recognize, like, yo, like we was talking about it, like, yo, this is a big moment. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was such a big moment that we was there, and we was like, yo, that's all right. And we were able to embrace everything. And everything that we went through, is not like it was okay, but it didn't matter anymore so much. And then after that we went out to eat, and everything was nice. And what do you think about that night? That's how I felt about that night.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was
amazing. It's in the building that we were downtown in Lisbon,
mm-hmm.
and at the cocktail hour, it was a rooftop cocktail hour. They had wine. Did they have mixed drinks?
They had a couple.
Of mixed drinks, and then they had like appetizers. And
some of the appetizers were real good.
Yeah. But it was just the view itself, the sunset. It was just one of those moments like, wow. And you could see over the whole city all the way down to the beach. And I just had a moment like, this is really my life today. Like, I'm really in Portugal, drinking wine on a rooftop, looking at the city and the water. Wow.
And I took my whole family there.
You done took the whole family.
You know what I'm saying? And somehow with my younger kids, they went through that situation with me. And as soon as we got to Portugal, everything was all right.
Mm-hmm.
I always learn a lot from my kids. I know you do too, but of course they got down, but right away they're able to embrace the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to be able to do. And I'm glad we did that. It was like the trip of a lifetime, but going from that night before the wedding itself, the after party, this is at a castle.
Yeah, they got married in a castle.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
This was crazy.
Another cocktail hour.
I'm telling you. Like, this was like, really what?
It was, yeah.
Oh my god.
Like white glove service.
Oh my gosh, yo. And I'm even skipped getting to the wedding, but let's not even talk about the hotel. The hotel we got to swim. They have the perfect temperature pool, at this hotel.
Yeah, so his uncle stayed at a different hotel
because
we couldn't swing it because it's just too many of us. And we would have been cramped in a room.
And we didn't want them in a hotel for that long. So Airbnb was us. But we got to crash.
We did get to crash 2 days in a row. In the pool.
It's
was overlooking the ocean, like
everything was just,
and the temperature in the pool was perfect. Like you could just walk.
Everything, the little bar right there, you can see the whole ocean while you're in the pool. You're up high, like, and everything. The pool temperature, you ain't gotta. This is not the pool where you even think for half a second to hesitate to get in. You just get in.
Walk in.
Perfect temperature. Whatever the temperature meter says, it just says P. Perfection, done. That's it. And it was just like, yo. And I'm sitting there and, I'm watching my uncle try to teach my son how to swim and, reminding me of when I was younger and I was out in Florida and he kept teaching me, like trying to teach me to swim and I just wouldn't do it. His encouragement, kick your feet, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't do it. So then he throws me in the pool and walks away. Somehow I made it out the pool. I wouldn't advertise doing that. But somehow I made it out. And here it is, full circle. I'm watching him teach my son this and go through it. And I'm just like, yo, like, this is amazing. I appreciate this. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being the type of person, like, not everybody would want to take all the kids there.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I don't blame you.
But we recognized, we recognized from another trip we had long ago of just how impactful it could be to your children to take them to these places that they may never even be able to take themselves on their own. Like we take them to Japan, like take them to Portugal, like,
yeah.
And I'm watching my son out there with some little Portuguese boy playing football every day and taking pictures with him and jumping in the pool with him. And I know there's a memories that he's going to remember forever. That's what life's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like City Wedding. Beautiful wedding. Beautiful after party. Castle, view of the ocean. Food's good, drinks good. The DJ was horrible.
And I don't understand how that happened because they gave him a playlist.
Yes, he just wasn't doing what he needed to do. Yeah. But the guys got him right for a bit. And
for a second, he kept trying to go back to the.
He kept trying. Yeah, like nobody did. Don't do that. Music. Like everybody was trying to be a little ratchet. Like everybody was actually trying to be a little ratchet. So it was cool. Like
he kept trying to take it.
But like what an experience, you know. Fast forward, unfortunately, like all good things, they come to an end.
Yeah.
But we're leaving her with all types of memories, and we're already having the experience of going through ups and downs. And anybody that's listened to our show and just like, hey, these guys are talking about their trip. Listen, man, this is all about the point of realizing that no matter what you do in your life, you're going to have tough times and good times, and navigating that and being part with people that are able to navigate that with you and share experiences with you and learn from each other is really how to do it, because you're out there on your end for no reason. And you're sitting there having a viewpoint of things for anybody that is just going well and it's not. And our show allows you to really hear about how things go well and how they don't go well, and different things that we do well and we don't. And we want to hear from other people too, because we're all just trying to navigate life, and life is kind of messed up for real. You know what I'm saying? Now, here we guys are listening to anybody listening to the show. We finally made it. We had the trip of a lifetime, right? We got to go home now. But we already been through the ups and downs already, right? We already had all that tough time getting there, blah, blah. Like, okay, we had this experience, the wedding. Like, now we're going to go home. We already had the trip. We're cool now. That's not true, though. That's not true, though, right? So everybody remember this. Like, if you ever wonder if you did something good in your life, just be prepared for the storm afterwards. If you're watching something, you're consuming information and it's showing you how good it is, have that person also tell you about the tough times that came afterwards, because that's what really happens when really good things happen. For some reason, there's some troubles that will come later or things that you have to navigate. It's never just amazing and then it just stops for anybody. But we thought, trip of a lifetime, now we're going to go home. But we do have more challenges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the lesson for another thing I want you guys to remember. I told you guys at the beginning of the episode about my green card situation. Now, lesson to be learned. Yes, we're planned. Yes, we got the money right. Yes, we got there. Going through all the tough times to get there, travel. Now we had this amazing experience. We're going home. Cool. They didn't worry about the green card coming over. Okay. But there's things that you ain't really did right. They show up, right? They do show up. And you have to always recognize that they're going to show up. And I was like, all right, we're coming home. Now all of a sudden I'm concerned again because I'm not 100% sure that nobody's going to give me difficulty. Why? Because again, I have a green card that's been approved, a renewed one, but it didn't show up in the mail. Yes, everybody's got that. So here we go. We're going back through, we come back from Portugal. We're flying through Madrid. Oh, that works out. No delays and all that. Lovely.
But they did tell you might have some issues in Madrid.
They told me I might have some issues in Madrid. Hey, y'all,
my man almost got deported.
Hey.
That's what we're getting to. But go ahead.
No. So, all right. So, look. Listen, yo. So, I'm coming back. And they go through Madrid, and then they tell me that when I get to the States, I might have a little problem. But, they called the embassy and all that. I showed them what I basically had. Here's the evidence that I had. in my phone, it showed that your green card has been delivered to blah blah address. If you did not receive it, click this link for blah blah. That's the screenshot I hit. That's what I hit. And I had my expired green card with me.
And he did follow up twice.
I followed up twice online
no
to
response
be like,
yet,
you said you mailed it to my house, but it ain't showed up.
Okay.
All right. So
we get to the United States.
We get to the United States. And everybody gets through. And I want everybody to take it like this, because I like to give real advice in your life. When you sit there and you did things the right way, eventually it's going to come full circle in a very direct and real way that's undeniable. And I know that this happened for a reason. Let me keep it. So not only have I been worried about if somebody's going to say something about my green card, I know I have some indirect evidence, you know what I mean? I've got something. I'm wondering, hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but the way that the officer said it to me let me know that everything that I had did was wrong. I get up to the counter, and they say, hey, we got to validate your information. Go to the side. I said, all right.
Hold on. So did you give us, which passport did you get first? The American passport?
I gave the American passports first because those were cool. I gave the American ones first because those were cool. And then I gave them mine and my green card. And I told the customs person or whatever that, hey, this is what happened. And she was like, oh, okay, well, we'll take you to the side. So I go to the side. And the guy go up to the counter and the guy says,
is this the secondary room?
Yeah, the secondary
room. So this
is
when I knew it was a situation because I've only seen the secondary room on the freaking when people be smuggling drugs in the country. Like those little shows where they have you sit, wait, and they search your stuff. Right. So anyway, when they took us to the second room, I'm like, oh Lord.
And they took everybody.
They took the whole family to the second room. So
here we are in the secondary room, and I go up to the guy. And he says this right in my face. He says, why would you travel without a valid visa to enter back into the country? And yo, I was sitting there like, well, I'm like, well, what happened was I didn't look at this. This is what I came up with. I said, I didn't look at it like I didn't have a valid visa. Because I have this confirmation here that says my card was mailed. So I don't have a visa problem. I have a mail-in problem. That's what I told him. He looked at me like, and he was like, okay. I showed him the thing and I talked him through it. And then he was like, well, I'm going to have to talk to my boss about this. And you could go take a seat or whatever. And he basically let me know that they wouldn't let me in if I didn't get granted a waiver. So I just have to get a waiver in general to enter the United States or something's about to happen. So now I'm sitting there again, not thinking about the wonderful wedding I was just at. I'm in a new space now.
You got hungry children.
I'm back on the dawn side.
Well, it's hungry children. The airport shuttle is outside
waiting forever.
He waited for 2 hours.
And here I am. Now listen, here I am. Now one thing that's in my back pocket guaranteed, obviously, which I thank the Lord, is I'm there with my family and everything and my baby. So I think if I was by myself,
yeah, that would have been it.
That probably would have been it. But, under the circumstances, I mean, I really appreciated that. So they came back and gave me a waiver and also waived the $500 plus fee. So I really, really appreciate those wonderful people that did that for me. That may not happen for everybody, but right then, and I want to be real about it, I think that's the last time and the last example that's going to show me that I got to be better with things that I know I didn't do the best of up front. Because for the longest while, I'm then I need to get my call these people. Where's my actual card? Like, make sure I had it. Different things like citizenship or like status back in Burma. Like I need to do like all these things. I'm realized like it's not okay to know it and not do it. You know what I'm saying? Because look what happened.
What if you would have got deported?
Oh, right. For something that I would have known about all this time. Yeah. And I want to show that, here my trip starts with stress. The trip started with stress, and the trip ended with stress. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying this story for no reason and just to tell everybody about our trip. It's literally to show you, like, we just had the moment of a lifetime and all of those amazing things that we experienced. But because of things that was in our control, like my green card, or things that weren't in our control, like the weather, we had stress and stress for us to experience that. So the takeaway is the things that you do have control over, you have to make sure you take these steps. Like, don't keep thinking about it. Go take care of it. Go handle your business. I'm going to go get my paper. I'm going to go find where this green card is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do the things that I know I need to do because it's that impactful now for me. Because I wasn't traveling by myself. Good thing I wasn't. But it's too big of an impact now. Tie the bow on things, don't the thing is, guys, like, the real talk, like, don't think that I'm sitting there saying people's not doing anything. You might be doing a lot, but like, if it's 90%, that 10% might come back. Like, go tie the bow on it. Like, don't go forward and say I have just enough for people to accept what I'm saying, when I could have just took the step further and just had it with no explanation. That's what I did wrong.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have had to be like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm not traveling again until I have this thing,
Well, you can travel throughout the United States.
Yeah, but
just don't.
Right. No international, you know what I'm saying? But I was just sitting there like, thank God I got sure and I have to pay this fine. And of course, on top of that, I ain't get like deported or nothing like that. But I'm sitting there like, all of that was avoidable. The tough times that we had, I want people to think about, like, let this be the ones that you couldn't avoid, you couldn't control, man. Try to, like, not keep hurting yourself on the things that you can control. For real. Like, because the trip was going to have hard times in it anyway, clearly. The first part of everything we had to go through, there weren't nothing we could do about that. But at the end, everybody should have been able to go home, no stress, no worry, because all of that was taken care of. I should have been able to be on the plane talking with you about whatever, the trip that we just had. But it wasn't like that because, on the one hand, I'm in my head thinking about that thing that I know
that ain't right.
Ain't 100% straight.
Yeah.
Let's not do that to ourselves all the time. Like,
I agree.
That was real stressful for me. Then it became stressful for you. Yes. And then it became everybody else's stress. That was avoidable, Nah, our trip, amazing, You had a good time, right? We got to go back.
Oh, yeah.
I advise people again. I don't know when we're going to be talking about vacations again, but taking that time off is like, I don't know whether it's Portugal or it might be something just, 20 minutes down from your house in a hotel or something, but like really getting yourself into different environments will teach you a lot about yourself. You think you know yourself, and it's not a lie, but a lot of times you know who you are based on where you're at. But you don't even really know all of the things that's inside of you because you ain't been in different environments around different types of people doing different things. You're eating terrible food. Maybe you're not somebody who isn't ambitious or somebody that is depressed, or you might not be that. You might just be eating terribly and having really bad habits. And the impacts of that might be a sad person, or not energetic person, or not driven person, but that's not who you are. That's who you're becoming based on what you're putting in and what you're around, So am I really this super stressed guy? Well, yeah, I am. You know what I'm saying? Do I have salt, sugar, and stress in my life? I do, but it's based on a lot of where I'm at.
Yeah.
because as soon as I changed where I was at, I wasn't like that.
Did we even argue? Did we have any disagreements? I think we had one.
Yeah, I think we had one. But that's really fixed itself. You know what I'm saying? But I think we had one. But you know what? I would say that the core of the disagreement, without getting into the details, is when something's good, you want it to be perfect. And it ain't always going to be perfect. And, you know, maybe I'll close with this without getting into the details. But because we talk about the ups and downs and things, and vacation was the example today, maybe the next time you go into an experience that you're expecting to be amazing, you could have realistic expectations of yourself, of the person that you're doing it with, of the environment that's new that you're going to put yourself in. And I think that where I would say my bad, you know, is you got to give grace to people. And sometimes you're on a trip and you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to go this place, you want to stay out late, blah, blah, blah. But a person or experience can't always check every box for you. And you can't always check every box for them. Now, I'm the type of person, I don't know if there's anybody else like that, but I definitely try to check the box for everybody. But when there's 6 of us, that's really challenging, you know? And then I think you might want to, at the end, try to check your box off as well. Like, all right, I'm checked all these guys' boxes off. Now let's check off mine. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we got too many boxes to check off. That's what we juggle with, and that's the downside of doing a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, again, that's what our show is about. Like, if you want to be somebody that's got multiple businesses like us, we work as well. Like, we coach, like you do team management. Like, yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. We got this show now. You know what I mean? It comes with a lot of boxes you got to check off. Yeah. A lot of to-dos. Mm-hmm. You don't always get to check them all off. And a lot of times, because you don't get to check them all off, it makes you feel like something's wrong. And I think that's what I do wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you probably agree. Maybe you don't. But I'm just going to be like today, I got a busy day. Am I going to check off every box? No. But for some reason, when I was over there, I was more comfortable with knowing, and it felt better not checking off everything than her. With her, it's more stress, not checking off everything. Mm-hmm. With over there, it's like an environment of, I'm going to check off what I can. I think we like that.
Yeah.
You know? I think, and again, the little S word thing is just what I came up with, but since I've been back, guys, when I was coming back to the airport, anything they really had to eat was Burger King. Got Burger King. Worst eating experience of my life. It's like my body didn't want it.
Yeah.
It didn't even like it. It made me feel terrible. It really did. And I'm sitting there eating and I'm like, I feel like something's on my tongue. Like, I'm like, yo, what is going on right now? It
tastes different.
It tasted way different. Like, I don't know if it tastes different because now I'm tasting what it really is. If I'm sat there and I'm ate clean, whatever, why does this food taste so bad to me?
Yeah.
This food usually tastes good to me.
That's like,
you know what I mean?
With the orange juice. You bought some orange juice, mm-hmm. and I tried it. So in Portugal, if you ask for orange juice, they go squeeze it for you.
It don't matter where you at.
It don't matter where. I'm thinking, let me just get an orange juice for the baby.
That's all you could get.
And it was freshly squeezed orange juice. So he went to the store and bought some orange juice, and I tasted it. It tasted sour.
It did.
Mm-hmm. But this is also the same orange juice that you can't find in the store overseas. So yeah, I think that it's our body knowing what it's supposed to taste like, and now we're tasting like the extra, whatever that is.
So
and
it's something, and it was so distinct. Like, the fact that my body didn't want it was like the biggest thing to me.
Even when we were eating out, like the French fries they bought us were like
they cut
fresh,
right,
like they cut. You can tell that they cut them there.
Yeah. Everything. So now, you know.
Man, what are we gonna do? You want to move to Portugal?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know if I'm moving right now because I gotta, you know, make sure the money and everything, all the money I gotta make, I gotta keep.
Are you open to it?
I'm open to anything. You know what I mean? Life's short, you know. I want to make the most out of it, and I know I'm gonna have more experiences like we just had for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully,
so it could be a move, or it could be just we need to travel more.
It could be. It could be. But you know, a lot happened on this trip. You heard all about our vacation and all of the ups and all of the downs and everything we've been talking about. Don't ever think that you know, once again, what's coming. You got to be strong. You got to expect that with success comes failures and challenges. And even when you think it's over, it might not be over. And for some reason, something might just be waiting right at the end to give you a nice little kick. Just a little kick after all that. Because I got the waiver. I ain't have to pay no fee or nothing. Now we're home. But the trip, although it's over, life is life. And I want Randy to tell you real quick about what happened right at the end of all of this.
I don't even know if I can. I'm frustrated. I'm still upset. So basically, we were in the kitchen, and my 6-year-old son says he has to show us something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so we look up at the ceiling, and through the recessed light, and there's water falling through the ceiling. And I'm like, now this is when we get home, but the day after?
Yeah, day after.
Day after we get home. So I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, like it was just like raining.
Just raining out of the recessed lighting.
And I'm like, okay. So I said, well, let's turn off the water valve because clearly there's a leak somewhere. So we turn the water off and it just so happened to stop leaking. So anyway, we looking under the toilets, under the sink, just trying to see, you know, what's going on because nobody was upstairs showering. Like, where is this water coming from? So I called one of my handymen. He's on his way from New York and he's on the road, so he can't get here. So I called another new dude, which he's been on it. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Nah, he was good.
So he came right out. So he's talking about it. So he can't find it. He's like, the only way I can really find it is if I poke holes in the ceiling and I don't want to. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe I should have thought about this some more. But I'm like, if there's a leak, if there's a bursted pipe, like I want to know where it's coming from.
Right.
So we gave him the okay to cut open the ceiling and stuff like that.
Cut open about 4 or 5, about 6 actually squares maybe down there.
Is it 6?
4 or 5 maybe?
I think it's like 4
or 5.
But either way, it don't matter. He cuts open the ceiling. Can't find a leak, but he's saying things along the way. So he's like, why is there water in the vent? Whatever the vent
for the AC.
For the AC vent. He was like, this is too much water for it to be condensation. So as soon as he said that, now the ceiling's already been cut open. If I can, I'll share some pictures on Patreon. Subscribe. But if it's already been cut open. And he said, oh, okay. So when he said vent, I'm like, hold up. And I just flashed back because I saw Caleb earlier in the bathroom playing with the vent. But it was like air was coming out the vent and he was putting like feathers, you know what I'm saying? Like letting the air blow and stuff like that. So when he said that, I asked Caleb, I said, did you pour water down the vent today? Immediately he was like, yes. I said, you poured water down the vent today?
Down the vent, in the bathroom.
The vent.
Taking cups with water and literally pouring it in the vent that caused it to leak out the recessed lighting in the freaking, living room.
Yeah.
With now we got holes all cut all over the ceiling. And now we got to pay to fix that.
We got to pay to
fix it.
It's probably
like $1,000 cup of water.
Yeah, we had to pay him to come out, and now he's bringing somebody on Tuesday to fix it.
Exactly.
So yeah, about $1,000 problem, and that's actually cheap because the other plumber that we have used before.
Nah, I don't know, and I don't need anybody's opinion on if we could have controlled that, because it ain't no way that I could sit here and realize what would make him think to take a cup of water and pour it down the vent. But I'm afraid to ask him because I think he might say something like he was trying to create a swimming pool. Or something like that.
He said that he thought that the vent was connected to like the plumbing system. So you have to remember, so Caleb is a scientific child. Like he's curious and wants to know how things work. So even when the guy was here cutting through the ceiling and all this stuff, like he's intrigued by all of that stuff. So
okay, but yeah, I mean that makes sense.
But anyway,
that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. So that's what we came home to, and now our living room is a mess because there's drywall everywhere, and
that's got to be fixed.
That's got to be fixed.
After the trip, and again, we just took 6 to Portugal. We didn't go 20 minutes down the street.
So now, how are you going to teach him a lesson? Because what I'm thinking is, I would like him to understand the damage. First, I'm just frustrated because I'm like, man, it would have dried up on its own. Like we never even had to do that. But one thing. I want to go ahead.
Nah, and we're gonna say this for the next episode, but I don't know right now exactly what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. I know I got to do something, but I know the right thing that I did was I didn't say something right away because I was a little too angry. You know what I mean?
Well, I said something.
Nah, that's fine. You better than me with that experience of a lifetime, stress involved, things we could control, things and we couldn't.
When the guy left, like when I came upstairs to talk to him, Caleb was asleep.
I know. Hey, you know,
he went to bed.
Hey, if you're a parent, you could probably relate. Maybe not to this specific story, but you got put in these moments where you really have to channel some inner just peace over how you react on things, because that was crazy. But again, we appreciate y'all checking out our show today. We just had the time of a lifetime. We definitely want to tell you, if you ain't never been to Portugal, you got to go. It's a place. I love it there. Yeah. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely made the most of our trip. You know, my uncle getting married, that was real dope. Congratulations to him. I love that whole experience. But listen, guys, tap in with our show because you're going to just keep hearing and learning from us. And we did a lot of things good leading up to this trip. We did a lot of great things on the trip. We definitely know how to ball on a budget. We create great experiences for the kids. But again, things are out of our control, right? And some things are. So definitely be prepared for both. And the things that's in your control, handle your business, take care of things. Don't put it off, you know?
Yeah.
But also know that when them good times come, even the best of times, it might just be some bad times coming as well. And it's all right. Just got to keep it real, right?
Life is full of ups and downs.
For real. Anyway, subscribe to our podcast for all platforms that have podcasts. Make sure you follow us and subscribe to our Patreon and drop us something. You know what I mean? Support our show. Like, we definitely keeping it real for you guys. Randy, you have a beautiful day. All right.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Peace. Make sure you follow Quiet Money Podcast on all streaming platforms that have podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Leave comments on our videos. Let us know what you're going through, ups and downs. We want to hear from you. We engage with you. We'll see you next time. Peace.